My name is Brendt Johannsen, Commercial Account Executive with the Star Group, Certified Insurance Counselor. My dad owned a business when I was growing up, and I remember many of the long days and nights hanging around the office with him as he was getting started. I even got my first paycheck, and working alongside my dad was one of the best things that ever happened to me. He started Entree Computer Center in 1986. It was in a rapidly growing industry, and he grew right along with it. I started in the warehouse, taking shipments, moving things around. It was tough work, managing the inventory, very physical work. One summer, I had an opportunity to take an internship in sales. It was a really fun summer because I got to learn the ins and outs of prospecting, needs analysis, completing a sale. After I went to college, my main goal was to gain as much business knowledge as possible, step back into the business, work my way up, and eventually into ownership. One thing I remember about my father's experience when running the business were two words: what if. I remember many conversations that he had with his vendors, consultants, business partners about these what ifs. What if he couldn't make payroll? What if the vendors he did have raised their pricing 5%? What if the building burned down tomorrow? That made me realize something, that there's a lot of risk in running a business. It may seem like common sense right now, but when you're 15, you just kind of assume people buy stuff and the employees get paid. He really only asked these things because he cared. He cared if he could make payroll so that his employees could go back and feed their families. He cared if the vendors raised their pricing 5% because if he didn't have more to share, then he can offer the benefits and rewards to his employees and even his own family. I was bigger than my dad. It was bigger than me. It's bigger than all the customers that he had. Anytime you run a business, there are so many lives involved. You've got the employees that are working for you, their families, and all the lives they also touch along the way. Unfortunately, my plans to work with my father were derailed. In 1999, he sold the business. Maybe I should have had a backup plan or some other options to have in mind. But when it didn't come to fruition, I had to ask myself, what's next? I bummed around for odd jobs. As a waiter for a little while. I did a sales and management of a furniture company for a couple of years. While those were all good jobs, it could not rekindle the feeling I had working with my father and his company. To some degree, this left me feeling rather empty or lost. About 9 years ago, Tim Starr came into my life. As I got to know Tim, learned more about the agency, the services they offered their customers, really started to get me excited about a career in his organization. They were helping individuals just like my dad every day, and I knew I wanted to be a part of it. What I do every day is I help people answer the what ifs. I get to ensure companies take care of their most important assets, which are their people. When I work with my customers, I try to convey many of the same feelings my dad had as it relates to the people. There was so much pride he had in offering jobs to individuals that was his main focus, is taking care of his people, because they knew they would work well and work hard if they had a great place to come to every day. And I feel that same way about the organizations I work with. If they're a safe organization, if they have great benefits, if they're a growing business, if there's some resources I can bring to them, then that's me doing my job.